You can make every required minimum payment on time and still carry the same credit card debt for years. That sounds impossible because two ideas feel identical, staying current and making progress. But on a credit card, they are not the same thing. Look at a typical monthly statement. One number tells you the minimum payment due. It may look small enough to manage. Another section estimates how long repayment could take if you stop adding charges and continue paying only the minimum. It may also show a larger monthly payment designed to repay the current statement balance in about 3 years. Those numbers are not competing recommendations. They describe different repayment paths. The minimum is the amount required under the account's terms for that statement. Paying it by the due date can keep the account current, but it does not guarantee that the balance will disappear quickly. To see why, follow one simplified example from beginning to end. This is hypothetical. It is not your account, and card formulas vary. Suppose a card begins with a $5,000 balance and a 22% annual percentage rate. Assume no new purchases, fees, or rate changes. For this illustration, imagine the minimum payment is the greater of $35, or 1% of the balance, plus that month's interest. That rate is not meant to represent every card. It is close to the recent average for commercial bank accounts that were actually assessed interest, which was just above 22% in May 2026. Your own statement may be lower or higher. The formula is also illustrative, not universal. In the first month, the interest is about $92. 1% of the balance is $50. Add those together, and the minimum payment is about $142. The payment is real. The account receives $142, but roughly $92 covers interest, while only about $50 reduces the balance. After the payment, the balance is about $4,950. This is the first important distinction. The payment amount and the principal reduction are not the same number. Now move to month 2. Interest is calculated on the slightly lower balance, so it falls to about $91. 1% of the new balance is $49.50. The new minimum becomes about $140. That sounds like good news. The required payment fell, but the balance is still around $4,900, and only about $49 of the second payment removes principal. The payment is shrinking because the formula is tied to the balance. The debt is shrinking too, but slowly. That creates a quiet feedback loop. A lower balance can produce a lower required payment. A lower required payment can mean fewer dollars reach principal. Fewer dollars reaching principal can stretch the remaining balance across more billing cycles. The minimum is doing what it was designed to do under the account terms, satisfy the current statement requirement. The mistake is assuming that the required amount is also a fast payoff plan. After 12 months in this hypothetical, the cardholder has made every payment and paid roughly $1,600 in total. Yet the remaining balance is still about $4,432. Only about $568 of the original $5,000 balance has disappeared. Nothing is missing. The difference went largely to interest. And the process does not remain emotionally obvious because the statement keeps offering a manageable next step. The next payment may be smaller than the last one. The account remains current. There may be no late notice and no dramatic warning beyond the repayment disclosure already printed on the statement. This is why the disclosure box matters. Federal rules require card issuers to estimate how long it would take to repay the current statement balance if the consumer makes no additional charges and pays only the minimum each month. Statements generally also include a monthly amount calculated to repay that current balance in 36 months. Those estimates depend on assumptions. They use the statement balance, applicable interest rates, the account's minimum payment formula, and the idea that no new transactions change the path. Your real timeline can change when the balance, rate, formula, fees, or new purchases change. But the box gives you something the minimum payment alone does not: a view of time. In our hypothetical, after 3 full years of minimum payments, the remaining balance is still about $3,482. The cardholder began at $5,000. 36 payments later, almost 70% of the original principal remains. That is the mechanism behind the title of this video. A small minimum payment does not extend debt because the payment is fake. It extends debt when the formula allows the required amount to decline, while interest continues taking a large share of each payment. And here is the part most people miss. The minimum can become easier to pay at the exact same time the repayment path becomes harder to see. In the next half, we will compare this declining minimum path with one consistent payment, calculate the difference in time and total interest, and turn the statement into 4 numbers you can read in less than a minute. Now, put the 2 repayment paths side by side. The first path follows the declining minimum from our hypothetical. The second uses one consistent monthly payment of about $191. That second amount is the approximate payment needed to repay a $5,000 balance at 22% interest in 36 months, assuming no new charges, fees, or rate changes. This is still an illustration, not a recommendation for your account. In month 1, the minimum path requires about $142. About $50 reaches principal. The consistent payment path requires roughly $49 more. Because the interest charge is the same at the beginning, almost all of that difference reaches principal. Instead of reducing the balance by $50, the first payment reduces it by about $99. That does not look dramatic in 1 month, but the difference repeats. After 12 payments, the declining minimum balance is still about $4,432. Under the consistent payment path, the balance is about $3,681. Both cardholders started at $5,000. Both paid on time, but one path has removed about $750 more principal after only 1 year. The difference comes from what happens after each payment. On the minimum path, the required amount keeps declining. In month 1, it is about $142. By month 36, it is under $100. That can feel like relief, but each reduction also gives the balance more time to generate interest. On the consistent path, the payment does not decline with the balance. As the monthly interest charge falls, more of the same payment reaches principal. The payment creates its own acceleration. At the end of 36 months, the consistent payment balance reaches 0. The approximate total paid is $6,874. Of that, about $1,874 is interest. The declining minimum path is nowhere near finished at month 36. It still carries about $3,482. Under this simplified model, minimum-only repayment lasts about 197 months. That is roughly 16 years and 5 months. The approximate total paid is $12,673. About $7,673 is interest. The original balance was only $5,000. Again, those numbers are not a forecast for every credit card. Change the annual percentage rate, payment formula, payment floor, fees, promotional terms, or account activity, and the result changes. But the mechanism remains useful. A minimum payment answers one question: what amount satisfies this statement's current requirement? A payoff plan answers a different question: what payment pattern reaches 0 within the time and cost you can accept? Confusing those two questions is what makes the small number on the statement so powerful. It looks like the solution because it is the amount printed beside the due date. But the same statement may already contain the evidence that it is only one repayment path. You do not need to calculate every month yourself to notice the pattern. The statement is designed to show the long-term comparison. Here are the 4 fields to read. First, find the current statement balance. This is the balance used in the statement's repayment illustration, but it may not include later account activity. Second, find the annual percentage rates that apply. A card can have different rates for purchases, balance transfers, cash advances, or promotional balances. Third, find the minimum payment due. Treat it as the current required amount, not automatically as the amount needed for a fast payoff.
Fourth, find the minimum payment warning or repayment comparison. Look for the estimated time and total cost under minimum-only repayment, and the payment calculated to repay the current statement balance in about 3 years. Then compare the two payment amounts. The gap between them is not merely extra money requested by the statement. It represents a different relationship between interest, principal, and time. For someone who can pay only the minimum right now, this explanation is not a judgment. Staying current may be the immediate priority. The point is to make the timeline visible, because an invisible timeline is difficult to plan around. And before using any example from this video, check your own statement and card agreement. Issuer formulas and account terms vary. New purchases can change the estimate. Promotional rates can expire. Fees can alter the balance. A payment that works in one example may not match another account. The minimum payment is not fake. It is not automatically a mistake, and paying it is not the same as doing nothing, but it can create an illusion of completion. The payment was accepted. The due date was satisfied. The required amount may even become smaller next month. Meanwhile, the account can remain active across dozens or even hundreds of future billing cycles. That is the real contradiction. The easier the required payment becomes, the easier it may be to overlook how much time remains. So the next time a statement presents one small number as the immediate task, do not read that number alone. Read the balance, read the rate, read the minimum, then read the years. Save this video so you can use those 4 fields the next time you open a credit card statement.